Hey guys, Christian here with Piercia Coffee, and today we'll be doing an iced pour over. So with pour over and our ice drinks, I'll be using a V60 today, but I've done the same recipe for Calitas, December drippers, and they've all worked out pretty well. But we're just going to show you a way to do iced pour over coffee because these hot summer months are coming upon us and you want to enjoy your coffee there in the morning and also in the afternoon too. Typically, you rinse your paper filter to get everything, but the key to doing this is don't rinse your paper filter in the decanter or in the cup you're going to be using. I usually do it over the sink. In this case here, I have my decanter I'm going to do my pour over in, but I'm going to rinse my filter in another cup here on the side. For grind size with ice pour over, I usually go a little bit finer than what you normally would do for your typical pour over. If I have my pour over grind setting and then say you have an AeroPress grind setting that's finer, I usually go a little bit finer towards that AeroPress. Okay, so today's ice pour over method is going to be a little bit different from just brewing hot coffee and pouring it in a cup and adding ice or something like that. Because normally what you do for your pour over is do a 1:16 ratio around there. All that total water will go into your coffee and then you would pour that on ice. But what's already happening is that ice is going to soon dilute. You're just going to end up with watery coffee versus nice, good pour over. So the way we're going to do it here is we take 40% of our total hot water. You can say 40% of that will actually be ice that's weighed out and put inside your carafe. So I'm going to take, today I'm going to be brewing with 30 grams of coffee. And so if you multiply that with for ice pour over 1:15 ratio, you'll get 450 grams. And like I said, typically in a pour over, you're going to do it all straight into the cup. But today in this recipe, we're going to be doing 40% of that total will be your ice. So I've got my handy dandy ice here. For our 450 total, 40% of that is going to be 180 grams of ice. So you're going to load up your decanter. If you're doing single serve, you'll load up your mug with whatever 40% is. Okay, and then the remaining 60% will be the hot water poured onto your coffee bed. Got some nice fine coffee here. We're doing our ice pour over with our Ethiopian Yirgacheffe natural process. And so the reason why we're grinding a little bit finer is you want the water to spend as much extraction time as possible. Because since you're only pouring 60% of the water, what normally would be a 3.5 minute brew time can shrink back much sooner to like 1.5 minutes. So you want to kind of elongate that process a little more to get as much extraction as possible. So my 60% for this recipe at 30 grams, 60% of that will be 270 grams today. Very, very slow pours. This is where gooseneck kettle really shines. I'm going to let it bloom for 30 seconds. I like to break up the pours here. Maybe 2-3 pours max is what you'll get out of this, rather than pouring all the water at one time. So I'm trying to go for 270. I just got to 143. I'm going to pour a little more, starting always from the center and working my way out. You may be able to hear the hot water hitting the ice. It's starting to melt. So I'm going to finish out my pour here. 244. And just a little more, 270. Okay, let your ice pour over do the rest. As it's going down, see my drawdown time already. I'm at 2 minutes and still have water going in, so that's good. And once all your water has gone and passed through the coffee, you're going to take your carafe and then you're going to swirl it. Get all that ice inside that's in your decanter to melt. And that 40% of ice mixed in with the hot water will create a nice flavor that's not too diluted, but still chilled for iced coffee. Maybe you could pour it again on another few pieces of ice, but I've had it just on its own. It's great. Okay, all my water's gone. I place it out of the way. Okay, now quick. You're going to stir it up. Hopefully you have enough headroom in your decanter. So what I'm trying to do is dilute that 40-60 into one nice cool drink here. I find this to be a nice quick way to make pour over for 2-3 people. You can do this in a Chemex. You can do this, like I said, with a Kalita Wave, December dripper. Today we did it with a V60. And what happens is you get a nice bright iced coffee. So especially with these single origin coffees, typically not really sure what you're going to get when you're doing a cold brew. They come out really strong and stringent. But here with the ice pour over, I've never found it to be too bitter. It's always very clean and smooth for an ice drink. Well, there you go. Ice pour over. Just do it.